Thank you, Laura. I think I'm the only pitcher here who has their boss here. So, hey, Mike, how's it going? So I'm going to tell you a story about a woman named Edna. Now, Edna is old. Like, she is really, really old. Like, she's over 100 years old. She won't tell me exactly how old she is. I'm guessing 102 years old. But Edna is, I think it's called a centurion. Not a centurion. That's a different charity. She has lived an incredible life, and she actually lives at home, which is something that Community Support Connections is all about, enabling people like Edna to live at home. But there's a couple other things you need to know about Edna. So Edna doesn't really have a lot of family. Edna doesn't really have a lot of friends. Edna's pretty lonely. She spends a lot of time at home by herself. And it's really important to understand that we don't neglect or forget about people like Edna, because there's a lot of Ednas out there. As a matter of fact, there are 5,000, at last count, clients of Community Support Connections, Meals on Wheels. So that's a lot of people like Edna. This could be your family, right? This could be your father or mother. This could be you one day. Quickly about Edna, we actually, a few years ago at Meals on Wheels, we had this program where it was a fundraiser, and you would have a calendar. We would sell this calendar, and it was full of all our favorite recipes from our kitchen. And it was a great success, largely in part to Edna, who bought a ton of these calendars. She was buying these calendars like crazy. She was buying one calendar every single week, and she was giving that calendar to people like her mailman, people like her nephew, her neighbor. Eventually we said, Edna, why aren't you buying these calendars just in bulk? Why are you buying them every week? And we sort of figured it out. See, what happens is when you buy a calendar, somebody will deliver that calendar to you. That's a service. And when that person delivers that calendar, guess what? She had tea ready, she had baked goods out, and she had a warm seat for them. So we quickly learned that Edna wasn't buying calendars. She was buying time with a friend. And that's what Community Support Connections is all about. So there's lots of ways you can help. We have a few different programs. So Community Support Connections does free gentle exercise, which is a lot of fun. Gets people up, gets them working out. It's actually a great social event. We also have a program called Meals on Wheels, which I'm sure you're familiar with. We were actually the original Uber Eats. And then we also take people to their grocery store. It's all about enabling the people in our community who can't look after themselves to stay in their house for as long as possible. But here's the problem. The population is getting older. People are living longer. People are staying in their house longer. Combine that with the fact that Waterloo Region is just booming. Our population is really increasing. And then you add on to the fact that something that all these other charities share with us, even though maybe they haven't mentioned it yet, but trends in volunteers are changing. So what I mean by that is, you used to have people who would work 5 hours a day for 5 days a week volunteering their time. My grandfather would drive people around to their chemotherapy appointments after he retired. But that's not happening anymore. We're losing that, and we're getting a lot of more volunteers, but committing fewer time, a couple hours here and there. So that's something that we can help with. This is a perfect storm. This is an opportunity for you to help, for you to be a friend, for you to be that guest. Be that guest for that person in your life. Because right now, as it stands, Edna needs someone to talk to. Tomorrow, you might need someone to talk to. Tomorrow, your father or your mother might need someone to open that jar of peanut butter, that Edna can't open that jar of peanut butter by herself. And if you're not around, that's where we come in. So I really appreciate your time. There's so much to talk about here, but I want to be respectful and move quickly through this. But if you want to talk a little bit more about it, please come see us at our booth afterwards, and really look forward to meeting you. So thank you.